Kingston, we are seeing that reports from South Africa that they've reached their peak and it didn't necessarily turn into hospital cases. Do we think that's going to happen here as well?
Yeah, I think the good news from South Africa and also some of the early news from Denmark suggesting that hospitalizations from this are not as likely as with previous variants. But that's at the back of the fact that in South Africa, a lot of people had already been infected with Delta. Around 60 to 80% of everybody in South Africa had the Delta strain. So they had a level of immunity against SARS-CoV-2 in general. Now, that translated not into protection against infection, but protection against severe disease. And what seems to be happening in the UK and Ireland and other European countries, that the vaccines, rather than previous infection, are having a significant impact on preventing severe disease with Omicron. So it's not necessarily that Omicron is less pathogenic, less disease-causing. It's more the fact that we have more immunity in the population. Therefore, the virus, while it can infect people that are previously infected, especially after 2 doses, it doesn't cause a severe disease. And if with 3 doses of the vaccine, it seems to also confer protection against symptomatic disease.
And we've seen that, of course, the booster vaccine is open to people above 16 now. That has happened. But it's talked of we could hit our peak of 50,000 cases next week with Omicron, Kingston. So when it comes to, and it does seem to be very, very transmissible. So when it comes to that, I assume the mitigating factors, we have to be taking extra precautions to stay safe.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem is, even though the disease is quite mild in younger people, is people are off work, either recovering from COVID-19 and during the period that they have to isolate, or that they're close contacts and they've had to isolate. So it means a huge level of the workforce are affected by this. And that's, a big issue. And it's a big issue now for the hospitals because a lot of the staff working in the hospitals are off isolating because of having COVID or being a contact. I think once the wave peaks, and most people are predicting that will happen in a week or 10 days, and hopefully, we get through this crucial 2-week period, and then we'll come out the other side of it hopefully better than we were when we went into it, because so many people now have been infected. The numbers we hear each day are probably, a fraction of the real numbers that have been infected, because a lot of people are not reporting. They're getting, antigen tests, and they're supposed to report the antigen test, but not necessarily. And so I think there's a lot more people infected than 20,000 per day. It's probably something like 50,000 per day right now.